sports upon us here at North Metro TV and Centennial High School. Good afternoon, live with you across all the platforms here on North Metro TV. We'll get into that as these two doubleheader broadcasts go on. It's JW Cox alongside Rick Palermo, and it's Centennial Soccer taking on Andover for two. First up, the Centennial girls soccer team taking on the Andover Huskies. And this, Rick, is a matchup of a pair of top 10 preseason picks. Number 2 for the Cougars, whose run last year ended in the state title game with a loss to Maple Grove. It was the Huskies going to the section title game with a loss to the Cougars. They open up this season now as number 7. All that's good on paper, but big elephant in the room, these players happy that their season is happening and that we get to be out here covering it here today. Yeah, pleasure to be out here covering live sporting events again. Always grateful for that chance today. I mean, when you look at these two teams, they have some history, as you alluded to. And when you look at the Centennial Cougars, you got to look at number 7, Kaya Harper. Led the team in scoring last year, is just a goal-scoring machine. Number 7 for the Cougars is going to be one to watch all evening on the pitch. Yeah, she's coming back with her 20-plus goals in the regular season from a year ago, rather 20-plus goals overall. For the Huskies, the story is going to be replacing some talent as they're replacing 7 seniors that accounted for 38 goals, but they are bringing back a very good player who could help them out this season, and that is their now senior, Olivia Knopfle, who scored 17 goals, had 11 assists last season. They're going to look to her early. I think this could be a deep team, Rick, but you always know early in a season you have to be able to rally around somebody to get you off to a good start. Yeah, and this being the first game for both these teams, it'll be interesting to see what kind of shape these players are in. You know, it's because you could train all you want in the summer, and obviously this summer was we ran into some interesting times. So conditioning might be an issue today. Beautiful weather, however, here at Circle Pines and Centennial Stadium. So we couldn't be more grateful to have a beautiful day for some high school soccer. And we do have game 2 of the doubleheader that will come your way following this one. And we are live across all of our channels on Comcast, online, Facebook Live, and also YouTube. And this year it'll be interesting. This is what we'd call in the biz a one-camera shoot. There's actually 2 cameras here positioned with us, but it's Rick and I and a couple of camera operators, Rand and Josie. Rand's downstairs, Josie's up top bringing you all the pictures. And this one, normally in years past, Rick, would not be something we'd be able to carry live on our channel or anywhere, but we are doing that this year. So if you're listening to my voice now and assuming all things are working as they should be, fingers crossed, you're watching this live. Now, we will have truck productions with multiple cameras, all the bells and whistles that you come to know and love. All the good stuff. All of that. That's a good note as well, Rick. So we will have that throughout the year, and we'll have some where we're also doing this type of broadcast at the same time. The beauty of North Metro TV this year is we're making it possible to see both of those live. Truck shoots would be on the main channel, wherever you're bringing in your cable internet, on Comcast or your cable TV rather, plus on Facebook and our main YouTube page. But we've also got a YouTube bonus page, the Plus YouTube page for North Metro TV, where you can find these types of shoots if there is a conflicting truck shoot. If you're more confused than when I started talking, the best thing to do is go to northmetrotv.com, and not only will you find that information and the best info on where to find your particular game, but also you will see our schedule for the upcoming fall season. 72 degrees and bright sunshine here in Circle Pines. And yes, Rick, that is something that we should talk about. Being here, this is a strong home field advantage for the Cougars. They have not lost a home game since 2018. That was Maple Grove, who got them 3-1. They lost twice that year. They tied twice the year before, but since 2016, they're 35-2-2 right here at home. And, well, you got to love that to open up your season first game for both these two teams. Yeah, Ginger Flohog, head coach of the Centennial Cougars, has done an outstanding job training her players through the ranks. And high school is difficult to build powerhouse teams because of the turnover with the students graduating each year. So very impressive to see what Centennial has done. I made it all the way to the state final last year. And it's just, continued success is what we've come to expect out of the Centennial Cougars girls program. Yeah, 2019 was their first trip to the state tournament since 2016, but they had gone to the section, they had won section titles rather in 6 of 8 seasons from 2009 to 2016. The starters going to get introduced to the folks here at Centennial. Yes, there are fans in the stands.
Yeah.
They're abiding by the 250 limit for outdoor gatherings like this. Only one side of the stands are open here on this side where we sit, across from what you're seeing the players as they come out from their bench. Fans being asked to walk in with a mask are able to remove them once they get to their seats. We saw student section that is gathered down to our left. And, yeah, so it's going to be a pretty decent atmosphere on a beautiful day as folks just continue to play on here in this fall that is certainly had its challenges, will continue to have its challenges, and hopefully off to a good start for the Centennial Cougars. Don't forget throughout the season as well, Rick actually just got done taping an episode of Sports Den. We'll bring you the highlights of whatever we cover, and including this game, first run at 10 o'clock. We'll be able to stick those highlights in there hopefully by then.
Yeah, hopefully we have some good highlights to call at the conclusion of this game. It looks like the fans are doing a pretty good job of social distancing as well. Everyone pretty much spaced out here at Centennial High School as the Cougars are now being announced.
This is also a rematch, not just from the regular season last year as conference opponents, but this was the matchup on Tuesday, October the 15th of last fall in the section championship game. Andover, Centennial, they were 1-2, Rick, as far as top defense, top offense in the NSIC, kind of a collision course, or excuse me, the Northwest Suburban Conference, trying to be on a collision course in the section as well. And it was a 3-1 Cougar final, and you already brought up the difference maker, and it was Kaya Harper who scored all 3 of the goals for the Cougars. It was a 1-1 game after the first half. Kaya Harper scores twice in the second half to win it 3-1. Cougars have won 4 of the last 6 matchups, but it's been 2-2 in regular season play. 2 of those wins in the postseason of the last 6 for the Cougars. So it's evenly matched, and we should get a good one today with how these two teams are ranked, at least coming into the season.
Yeah, not only this match, but the boys' match that'll follow this here live on NorthMetroTV.com. 1-2 ranked last year in the conference standings. So these two teams, these two schools know each other well. And what a better way to start this 2020 campaign off with a little rivalry match.
And we will pause here. We'll keep it here, but we will pause our own jabbering for the national anthem. Soccer next on North Metro TV.
You're the engine that makes all things go, and you're always in disguise, my hero. I see your light in the dark, smile in my face when we all know it's hard. You're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now, know that you matter.
The fight goes on. The battle is not yet won. By now, we're tired, asking for a tag in. But now is not the time to let down our guard. Because just when you think this opponent seems to be pinned down, it comes back to life and when you least expect it. So keep your guard up, because if your mask comes off, the fight is lost for all.
Cougars and Huskies to get things started on the all-conference season for these two squads. And yes, these two teams will play throughout. There will be Northwest Suburban Conference games all throughout. Still be a handful of section games in the regular season. For Andover, they start the season with 3 straight section games, including this one. They play 4 total. 4 total section games for Centennial coming up. And they'll play the other 3 outside of this one, not until the final 2 weeks of the season. So a little different there. All conference play, but not necessarily all on the section side of things.
And only 11 weeks this season, played as under the Minnesota State high school guidelines. And you can only play twice a week maximum. So the teams will be spaced out. And hopefully the conditioning keeps up with that. I know only playing twice a week as opposed to usually maybe 3 or 4 games a week will be a little different this season. But without further ado,
Ready to go on a 72-degree afternoon, just a little after 5. Jenna Lane, the keeper for the Cougars. Other starters, Hamsky, Monson, and Cubes, along with Iskierka on defense. Bordson, and Alice. Brittany, Brooklyn, and Lauren at the midfield. Treadle, Harper, and Francis are the forwards. So we are underway with the squad in red attacking right to left as you look at it here on North Metro TV. The Andover starters, including their own keeper, Ava Braun, as she'll be over in net. Off to our left, these white-clad Huskies. Voss, Cole, Jorgensen, Stocky, Nguyen, Roseland, Knopfle. Sanders, Masungu, and Jorgensen are the starters for Andover. J.W. Cox, Rick Palermo here with you, live on North Metro TV. And the Cougars dominating things at midfield, keeping that pressure at least there. As for the first time, it's going to trickle back a little bit deeper and played up ahead by Sydney Cubes, a junior, one of 9 juniors on this all-junior senior varsity roster. There are some underclass players opposing them for Andover, as they'll try to work things through for Tracy Grease, the head coach for Andover. And in her 20th season, as Rick mentioned in our pregame, Ginger Flohog standing over far side as the Cougars get it inbounded on the far side. Summer Francis tries to push it up. And a slight delay for some sort of equipment there. Or an injury?
Yeah, equipment malfunction. Yeah, maybe a legal
something they couldn't have.
A bracelet on or something like that, it looks like.
All right, Andover trying to work it through. Powered upfield, first time the Huskies have been able to break through really against that midfield line of the Cougars, but it trickles all the way out of bounds, so Cubes will toss it in. The junior, as mentioned, with a goal and 2 assists last year. Plays it backwards as the Cougars slowly try to work their way ahead. Last year, Rick, was a little bit of an oddity in those great teams of Ginger Flohog. She's often led from the back with the defense that the Cougars could get out there, and that just were where her impact players were. But scoring close to 4 goals a game, it was a little different. The offense helped lead the way more often than not for the Cougars.
Yeah, and we talked about Kai Harper in the show open. Her impact, 16 goals in the regular season, then 10 postseason goals. Very impressive. She hasn't had much action early on. She's wearing number 7. She's the striker today, so most likely to see her on the attacking end near the middle of the field as she gets the inbound pass.
Knopfle on the other side in the 2 games against the Cougars. Despite being a double-figure scorer last year for Andover, she was held in check. So you know in high school soccer that if there are some big-time scorers, like both of those ladies we mentioned, they're going to draw a lot of attention. It's going to be task 1 to try and shut them down. And
with a shortened season this year, it'll be important to score first. Every game with even more importance this season. So getting an early lead might be key. Might be a key factor throughout this campaign.
There's a lot of experience difference with the Cougars and the Huskies, and not just in sheer numbers of players they're bringing back, but older players. Jenna Lane in net also brings some experience to this team, as it's stolen away by Andover just past midfield. Huskies trying to use it to their advantage and could not.
Looked like Grace Berg with a nice defensive play. Saw a through ball coming in and timed it perfectly to come up with the tackle. It was done cleanly.
Jenna Lang, meanwhile, last year in her junior campaign, just 16 goals allowed, 82% on the save percentage in the time that she got in there.
Yeah, crowds won't have much of an impact this season. You mentioned the home field advantage for the Cougars, having not lost here in multiple seasons. But there's a little student section here for the Cougar fans.
I think they're Andover fans.
Were they? Really? I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
We got one.
It's hard to tell from the but
they're
getting
jeering.
Excited. Oh,
yeah,
are they jeering?
I think those were jeers.
Okay,
well,
the Huskies are bringing it back the other way, and they're the team on the attack before it eventually slips out of bounds. That was Knopfle trying to go up the field for the first time. And you mentioned the crowd, obviously, for a home field advantage. You never know how much that can play effect. But I think one of the biggest advantages is the turf they get to play on here. They know exactly how this is going to play, and they can play it to their game defensively or offensively as they see fit.
Yeah, the turf being a much faster pace of play as we have a steal here and maybe a first offensive chance.
Taken away and cleared defensively by Cedar Jorgensen. One of a couple of Jorgensens, both underclass, a sophomore and a freshman. Cedar's the sophomore, giving it back to the free kick for the Cougars.
I think Maria Stocky, or they foul. Tackle from behind. One of the captains for the Huskies, rocking the sleeve.
Cougars trying to find that space up the near side. Brooklyn Bordson, 3 goals and 3 assists last year, eventually turned away. She's one of a trio, make it a quartet of Cougars that can flip back and forth if needed between the midfield and the forward spot. Both Bordsons, Brooklyn and Brittany,
which
is able to do that.
What that tells you is the prowess of the defense on the Cougars.
Correct.
When you have players who are able to play forward and midfield, that's part of the offensive defensive philosophy Flo Hogg has established for this Centennial program.
Yeah, and she said that before. It's all her philosophy. Always just has to be dependent on the players. And you talked about how hard it is with players graduating and leaving, how hard it is to keep a high school dynasty going. And that is going to be called a goal kick. So out off the Cougars there, or excuse me, out off the Huskies there for the goal kick for Lang. But yeah, just knowing what your personnel is and where you need to coach that, and then where you need to go with it.
No shots on net early on, and no shots in general.
Coming up on the 33-minute mark here. First half action, first half of play for both of these teams. There's a handful of teams that already had games late last week when that became the norm and allowable.
The few scores I saw a couple 4-0, I saw even one 9-0.
Offense ahead of the defense, huh?
Yeah. But
Tatum Treadle tapped that one into Kaya Hopper, who immediately was bracketed by a pair of Huskies.
Yeah, I mean, if there's going to be a game plan today, it's double team number 7 of Centennial. If you can slow her down, you don't want to get her loose because she has quite the skill offensively.
She's been working up this near side of the offense.
All right, now Cougars in the attacking third.
And immediately tapped out by Centennial. To be tossed in by Emily Roseland. Have to back her up a little. Cougars first to touch and intercept near midfield.
Well, it was a good hustle there from Bordson. But she's not rewarded with possession.
Worked off to the far side. Lauren Ollis played a significant role in that championship run, the state tournament run, rather. Harper has it deep, winds around 2 defenders, takes the long angle shot. There was never any play for Braun, and it goes wide for the goal kick. First time, though, we've seen her able to attack in space.
Yeah, and you see how wise she is offensively. Got the ball in the corner, worked it to the middle, developed a shot for herself.
Cougars with Treadle still trying to work their way through. Another in a long line of Treadles. This is Tatum Treadle in her junior season.
Looks like we had a handball or offside. No, offside was the call.
So deep free kick. Caught up near the midfield as the Huskies in white to work their way forward. Each team with a single goal kick. Just tells you here at the 30-minute mark, 10 minutes gone, just how much of this has been dominated here at the midfield.
Yeah, and probably expected in the first half of the first game of the season. Things will start to open up as the game progresses.
And as you said, keep an eye on that. Specifically, keep an eye on that conditioning, as for the first time we see Braun step out towards the front of the box to close down a potential opportunity from the Cougars. Big leg for Braun. Rolled up on that far side. Masugu for Andover, trying to pressure forward. Back in a little hesitation. Knopfler crossed the field with it, forced the Cougars to touch it out just at the front door of the attacking third.
Brooklyn Borgson just knocking it out of bounds.
Stocky, a move to Knopfler. Trying to angle back in front, and it weaves its way all the way through. It looks like it'll trickle out far side, and yes, just couldn't catch up to it. There was nobody home on that side, Rick. Maria Stocky had to go all the way to the other side of the field and try and track that down in time.
Yeah, first offensive threat for the Huskies. The centering pass not able to find an attacker.
.28 minutes to go here.
You know, one nice thing about no fans, you're able to hear a little bit more of the communication on the field.
That's true.
Which can be interesting.
Harper stepping around Masugu. Pushing her way all the way down the field. Splits two defenders, and finally the third defender taps it out and brings her down. Physicality was something that we saw folks trying to use against Kaya Harper, certainly down the stretch last year. As again, she drives deep toward the goal line. It's going to turn in to a goal kick.
Yeah, miss hit there for Harper. It hit the upright of the field goal post.
It'll be interesting to watch now that she is such a known commodity, just how teams play her throughout the year.
Yeah, or at least try to defend her.
What's the tactic? It was that physicality late in the year a year ago.
Ooh, nice through ball here.
Grace Berg got it over to Knopfler through a defender. Last back is Francis.
Have a foul on Andover. Yeah, Knopfler with a nice burst of speed through the middle. Tried to generate some offense.
Somebody wearing 9 and not a 9 listed on the first game roster, so we'll effort that, figure out who that might be on the defensive back end.
Tough scene for us media folk.
That's true. We'll figure it out. Andover off the free kick, over to Knopfler, and eventually run into by Allison Hamsky. Hamsky, who played a solid midfield and defensive post a year ago as just a sophomore. Ended up scoring a couple of goals, but did more activity and more positives on this backside with the speed she brought out there. She'll have to throw in for the Cougars. Talked about this season, last season, didn't give the records either way. It was 18-3 for the Cougars, 15-4. Both teams were 11-2 in Northwest Suburban Conference play. Tied for the second best record. Cougars trying to reverse the field. Use the free kick to trickle it all the way out along the Andover sideline. You can see over there, they're even on the bench, keeping that distance between.
Solid inbounds throw by the Huskies there. That toss went about 20 yards.
Got all of that back that they let trickle off. Masugu taps it up ahead, trying to find Skyland Jorgensen, and does. Up towards Knopfler. You see the ball handling skills there, weaving between two defenders. Pushed towards the sideline by the Cougars and Cubes, and eventually out towards the corner.
We have a corner
and
kick.
They did have the corner kick. They go at it quickly. Lang has it bounce off of her, but able to recover despite charging pressure there. And Jenna Lane keeps her head. Chloe Voss was right there, a sophomore for Andover, trying to find her first goal on a little rebound chance.
Interesting tactic by the Huskies. They get a corner kick and then immediately play it short. Didn't even give the team a chance to set up a set piece, but it resulted in a shot on net. Great save by Jenna Lang, who was able to control the rebound.
Mentioned off the top, Andover last year, obviously they've lost some players. Total of 7 seniors and 38 goals from last year's regular season, but they were the top scoring team in the section a year ago, and the top scoring team in all of Class 2A. They're 4 goals per game. Nobody else topping 4 goals. 6 times in their 19 games, they scored 5 or more goals, including a trio of games when they scored at least 6. So you know that Coach Grease on the other side has that offensive threat front of mind, but we'll just have to mold these players. It's Kaya Harper going after the ball, ends up getting tangled up with the defender. Cougar fans wanted something on Mariah Nguyen. Not going to get it. Nguyen works it up the far side in front of her own bench, and we'll pick up the cause with the throw-in. Deep and tapped out, back and forth, eventually played by Cubes. Over to the far side. Cougars back towards the middle.
Good back and forth battle in the early stages of the first half.
Up it goes, ahead of the pack. Lang lets it roll, and it's going to roll all the way through, but in offsides. And so Lang took the hit for her trouble, trying to step in front of Knopfler.
Knopfler already showing her impact in this first half. A couple of nice chances for number 15.
She brings what maybe Kaya Harper doesn't as much, and that's some big size for your striker up top. Taller than Kaya. Hard to gauge the speed right now, but yes.
Yes, and the ball dribbling skills on display. Very impressive early on.
And both these teams have maintained possession well. Certainly not any glaring unforced errors. Maria Stocky tries to make her way on a reverse.
Just
pressure, and it's taken away. Treadle with Harper to the middle. Treadle can't quite send it through, and Andover able to recover the great defensive play by Maria Nguyen. She's at it again. Drops to her feet right there, and she can wind her way towards midfield.
Yeah, it would have been a breakaway for Kaya Harper had the pass from Tootle gotten through.
Out of bounds on the far side. Maddie Cloth, the senior, will check in for Andover, and she will spell Mari Cole. Glad you're with us live here on North Metro TV. First half action, Centennial girls against Andover girls. First game of a doubleheader. JW and Rick with you. Josie and Rand got the cameras.
It's our first live sporting event of the 2020 calendar season.
Last time we would have been live on North Metro TV, if I'm not mistaken, a boys section hockey game.
Another through pass that could not find Harper. But yeah, that was back in February, early March.
Early March, first week of March, first Thursday.
Man.
So good to be back, certainly.
It's been a long 5 months.
You said a mouthful. Harper tried to get a little breakaway going with Sarah Strading down the right side. Strading, the junior forward, had 3 goals and 3 assists a season ago.
We had some fun during quarantine. We did a Sports Den quarantine edition. We got to talk to some of the athletes that in the spring had their seasons canceled.
Should be available, all those on demand, North Metro TV.
We got them on there.
Do the search for those.
I believe they're on the YouTube channel as well.
YouTube. Footwork from McKenna Monson, junior defender. Lost it on its way over towards the middle. Skyland Jorgensen trying to wind past 3 Cougars.
And McKenna Monson with a nice defensive play to steal the ball back immediately and hopefully set up a possession here.
Big foot for Cubes. Looked onside. Harper, no, she was not.
Late flag.
That was very late. Everybody was kind of waiting around on a play like that. You assume it might get called, and it eventually did. What a big leg in motion there for Sydney Cubes.
Yeah, you like your defenders to be able to send the ball deep downfield. And I do think those were definitely jeers from the student section. So we believe
so we're thinking those are Cougars.
I think so.
And they've now been spaced out along the rails, so someone came over.
Someone definitely said something. We got some masks on, though, so that's good.
Lang near side of the box, just plays it with the foot. Playing it as if it was played back to her by a teammate. Wasn't sure if it was. But she's able to clear it. And pushed out of bounds. Yeah, they're taking all the precautions. Ball's even going to be sanitized between halves.
Really?
Saw that on the rules and regulations that were put out for Centennial. Now Harper is going to get the foul called on her. Bring the free kick for the Huskies. And the win seems to be the ball handling defender back there. Little trip called on the Cougars. Lauren Ollis.
No card coming from the referee, though. Nothing too egregious.
Everything minor so far. Settled, popped into the air, and controlled by Lindsey Wilson for a moment for the Cougars. Batted around. Masugu. Cougars trying to find that space. Instead, they find number 7. She'll boot it all the way through and just goes wide. No redirect. Treadle was there. And also some attack coming up from Sophie Iskierka. You talk about all the Treadles. There have been a handful of Iskierkas that have come through as well.
I support the shot from Kaya Harper from distance. Because, you know, if it was on target, the keeper would have to play it, and then maybe you get a rebound.
Sent forward towards the net by Wilson. Huskies will let that one go. Harper made that a dicey proposition, eventually forced him to send it out along the far side.
Yeah, that's the hustle.
17 minutes to go.
The hustle from Kaya Harper forcing a turnover.
First half of 4 halves of soccer that we'll have for you on North Metro TV. Girls up first, then the boys to follow. Jenna Lane. Knocked out. What's the call? And it does go off Knopfling. As the Cougars were lobbying for McKenna Monson to throw in. Treadle didn't make contact first time she tried. Weaves her way along the sideline. Pokes it ahead, front of the box, and Harper loses that battle quickly to Braun. Braun last year was their primary goaltender, 84% on the save percentage. She allowed just 14 goals in 16 games. As we talked about the offense, but the defense was right there too. Number 1 defense in the section. Just edging out Centennial in goals allowed, 1.1 per game. Cougars allowed 1.2 per game.
Yeah, and Braun with a very good play. The keeper came up, read what was going on in front of her, and intercepted the pass.
3-on-2. One of the 2 able to knock it back. Elizabeth Schmidt stayed in the right spot, so it slows things down, gets some reinforcement. Cougars will keep the pressure on. From the corner, sent front of the box. Treadle's right there. Treadle will play. Back it goes. Cougars looking for a clean touch. Eventually they got it to Treadle. Bouncing around and pushed out far side. And it's going to stay with the Cougars. Lauren Ollis in the mix.
Action picking up here later in the first half. Probably the most stressful moment for the Andover Huskies to this point.
Hamsky trying to create possession towards the front of the net. Sugu comes up, nearly takes away the throw in. Stays with the Cougars, but the Huskies have edged them further and further down the field. Throw into Harper. Leaves it right side for Strating.
Out of bounds.
And it'll go back to the Huskies. NorthMetroTV.com for all the scheduling information. Find out where our cameras will be, what we're covering in this, well, strange and odd season that we're going to have to get used to here in the fall. Plenty of soccer on the docket. It's one of the sports with the go-ahead.
Football, not one of the sports. They have been pushed to a shortened spring season. Call it the spring sprint.
In front again, Cougars looking for Treadle, and it bounds away. As Harper again going wide, that will be off a Husky for a Cougar corner kick.
Another smart play by Kaya Harper there. Sends a low crossing pass in, knowing that if it doesn't reach her teammate, then it'll most likely get deflected out of bounds. And we have our first corner kick for the Cougars.
Each team with a corner. Kaya Harper's going to take this. Lindsey Wilson sets up front of the box. Alice is down there. Got some size in with Cubes. Treadle milling around. Brooklyn Bordson also in there. And they sprint Wilson out further away from the play. Harper sends it up. A great redirect from Bordson on the backside, and it just goes wide. That's exactly what they wanted there, Rick, just not accurate enough on the header from the backside.
Lovely ball in from Harper, and the header just goes high. Now, the wind blowing from the left goal to the right goal on your TV screen, so Harper, maybe some wind aid on that ball, had nice height on it.
Are you saying if the University of South Dakota had come up with Gatorade, it would have been Wind Aid instead of Gatorade? That's a South Dakota joke for everybody. And we've got a Cougar free kick in a dangerous spot here.
Harper got taken down.
Yep, she hit the deck. She's still down, the official talking.
I think she's just fixing her socks and shin pads. Yeah, she looks to be all right.
She got worse than that in some of the playoff games that we saw down the stretch last year. 12:50 to go here in this first half. Wall sets up for the Huskies. Cougars a set piece, basically second time down the field, second consecutive time. They had a corner a moment ago that nearly went. And now Harper will put her foot into this one. Braun setting everybody up. Did that from the near post, now centers herself. Harper sends that one on net and through for the score. Kaya gets it done. $12:21 to go here in this first half. And wouldn't you know it, Kaya Harper finishes it on the free kick from distance.
What an impressive strike from Kaya Harper. She put spin on the ball, started it at the right goal post. It bent well back to the left corner. Virtually impossible to stop for Braun. And there we have it. Kaya Harper, her first of what we hope are many goals this season.
So Kaya, the senior, now the Cougars, a ball that leaks through, and a long run there. The turf crops up. Sarah Strating ends up down on the deck, but no call. Cougars up 1-0.
Strating with impressive hustle there to make it a play. She would have got to that ball. She would have had a tap-in goal.
Tap it in.
Just
Knopfler
tap it in.
working her way up. She's had the best chances individually for the Huskies, and now they'll put some pressure on.
Yeah.
As it's tapped out of bounds.
McKenna Monson doing the smart play, just kicking it off to the side, out of bounds, as Knopfler is a dangerous attacker.
Tosses it in. Jorgensen turns and dipped it back to Cloth. Cloth got it in front. Cougar defensive touch to start it. Pop it back towards the top of the attacking third. Space for the Cougars. And pushed out again towards midfield. That was McKenna Monson again.
Yeah, Monson's had a lot of action early on. Most of the chances for the Huskies have come on the near side of the field here.
Hollis up to Harper. Harper settles. Second pass to Treadle. Treadle in a foot race after a free ball. Treadle down the near side with the Cougars up 1-0. Can set up the offense, working it down low. Redirects back in front again. Right there's Bordson. Bordson shot deflected at the last moment. Great defense in front by Chloe Voss. Cougars still on the attack. Back to Bordson. Bordson centers, sends a bounding shot that Braun will stop. It was just veering to the left of the near side post, but more good pressure from the Cougars coming up. Nearly 30 minutes gone here in this first half.
Yeah, Bordson with a strike that was seeking for some net. Tough block by the defense of the Huskies.
Andover won the regular season matchup, and I believe I mentioned off the top that Knopfler didn't score in either game. She actually scored the first goal of that regular season game that ended 6-2. She's got it here, working down towards the goal line, and it will be a corner kick that she's going to again set up and take quickly. Well, she ran to it. And she won't wait for a full setup like the Cougars did. Throws it to the back post. And knocked out of the air by a header attempt. Cougars never could clear. And it's worked out along the far side by, like, Mariah Nguyen.
It was a great pass. The header just did not connect near the back post.
Summer Francis back into the game for the Cougars. And Elizabeth Schmidt, one of those freshmen we talked about. 3 freshmen on the varsity roster along with 2 sophomores for the Huskies.
Under 10 minutes to go here in the opening half.
Free ball out for a goal kick. Cougars will take it. Knopfler. She got the goal in the first. It was a 4-goal first half for Andover. Cougars with a goal in each half. Stocky, the only other returner that scored in that game for the Andover Huskies. Kaya Harper had a goal in that one. So did Olivia Lovick, the since departed senior. Lovick and Harper, we'll see who becomes Harper's downfield mate this season. So far, Treadle there, and right now Sarah Strading working with it herself has been down on that attacking half. Knopfler dealing with Bordson. Taps it back, a little bit of help from Schmidt just off the bench, over to Bordson. Bordson with space, denies it to Alice, sends it up, long looking for Harper. Harper with enough of the speed, has Strading to her left now as she settles it down, has it poked away, it stays in bounds, and Nguyen stays after it. That one never went out of bounds. Harper thought it was going to, and Nguyen trailed after it.
Lovely defensive play by Nguyen, poked it free from one of the best players in the state. Stopped the threat right there.
Thought she was close enough to the sideline, did Harper, to avoid that eventuality. Up on the near side for McKenna Monson. Francis and Monson with 7:12 to go and a 1-0 lead for Centennial. Cougars reverse, and they'll try up Harper's side again. She's onside as that drops right down to her hip. Harper up ahead and tries to cross the field with that shot and goes too wide.
A lot of running for Harper in the early half.
So you want to be a forward, right?
Well, you get to score all the goals.
That's true. The payoff is there, but you've got to work for it. And Kaya Harper, among some of the toughest workers that we see in our coverage when it comes to high school soccer.
But again, very impressive passing, especially by the back line of the Cougars. We've already seen a number of deep through balls connecting at the offensive end, so might be something to watch this season.
And some impressive play end to end for the Cougars.
Field lights not on just yet.
That wind you were talking about still blowing. That's left to right here at Centennial as you look at it right here. So at the backs of the defense for Andover. Thrown in, and the win is taking it away. She's been the defensive star so far in this first half with 5.5 to go for the Huskies. Husky free ball.
Yeah. Sydney did not really think she did anything there. She's going to ask you, what do you mean there's a whistle?
Huskies come in hunting their first section title since 2017. These two teams haven't always been in the same section. There was a state tournament matchup that the Cougars won in 2016. I don't know why I just tried to guess at that, Rick. It was 2016. I knew I had it written down. State semifinals that the Cougars won.
Yeah, you're always prepared above and beyond.
Well, I should have known because I'm pretty sure I was there and called it.
Really?
So, yeah, should remember, but they all start to run together. I don't remember all of last year's Centennial games.
Yeah, that's
at
true.
US Bank.
That was before my days here at NMTV.
How did we even live?
I don't know.
My only question.
I mean, Kenton Kipp, our director, he's just got to be grateful for the last few seasons.
You're Mr. Everything. It might sound like we're joking, but we are glad to have Rick around and all the things that you
it's just jokes.
Add your Gore-Tex jacket and everything.
Oh, yeah, man.
This is the side of that.
Hopefully we can, have some late. Well, we won't have late October football games. We know that, but
not at the high school level.
No, but those were the good old days.
Yeah, we might have some with these two teams on the field right now. They're vying for some mid to late October section tournament, state tournament games.
Hopefully we'll be at the bank again.
Yeah, warm inside there. You don't need the Gore-Tex inside of US Bank.
Short sleeves all day.
But yeah, for those section games, you never know. We've all shivered our way through games. Sites like Farmington and.
Farmington, lovely facility down there for playoffs.
Very much so.
Yeah, I'd be down to go back.
We'll get the Metro kid down to the South Metro, the city kid that is Rick Palermo, down to the basically what becomes rural Minnesota. Kaya Harper getting physical herself with Nguyen. She was looking for a call of some kind. The whistle never came. 3:15 to go.
Ooh.
Slipped out by Andover.
Centennial might have a chance here. Last 3 minutes of the half. Trying to build on something.
Cougars, the lone tally on the scoreboard. It's Kaya Harper. They got a free kick just outside the box. Dangerous spot for it, and Harper put it into the net, and now a late whistle. Against the Cougars, and I think they're trying to tamp down on some of this, but as we've seen, the physicality of the Cougars haven't necessarily agreed that they've gone over the line.
Yeah, and neither has the student section.
They have started to set the tone, though. Told us how they want to play defense against this Andover team. I would just say player to player, there is more size overall for Andover.
Definitely.
Already talked about that with Knopfle.
Even from our vantage point way up here in the press box.
Yeah, Masugu stands tall playing her midfield position.
Uh-oh.
Up to Knopfle. Speed to try and catch up to her. Shot far post, off post. Rebound chance, Cougars have to clear. Another chance. Lang makes another save. It's out for the defense to kick it clear, and they do. A post from Knopfle.
Wow.
A save from Lang, and then cleared out by the Cougars at the last moment. By Cubes.
Wow, Knopfle.
Right off the corner again. Knopfle trying to center. Hoping for the handball. They won't get the call, and it's clear to the front. Yeah, go ahead, Rick. Minute to go.
Yeah, Knopfle just showing off her skill. Beautiful ball, just bent wide. Nothing Lang could do about that shot attempt.
Some excellent late pressure, though, to maybe make her pull the trigger a little early. Take away the complete breakaway. And then Lang still forced to make the rebound save, and did. Highlight-worthy stuff. Both ends for the attack and then for the defense to survive. Masugu right on the spot. Through the defense. Still alive as we just tuck under a minute. Pressure from Andover. It was held in there by Maria Stocky. We mentioned scored a goal in the regular season when these two teams met, and Andover won it 6-4.
Wow, the last minute of the half, and Centennial's just trying to hang on. Great offensive pressure, all the momentum with the Huskies at the time being.
Goal kick from Lang to try and slow it down. Back through the middle it goes. Again, they find Knopfler. And again, she sends a shot on net, but Lang is right there. Final 10 seconds. You can hear the countdown going, and it'll be a half that is controlled by the Cougars, and they have just enough defense to finish it off with a 1-0 lead. The lead for the Cougars. The lone goal scored by Kaya Harper on a free kick with 12:21 to go in the half. Kaya Harper's first of the season is the Cougars' first of the season, and sends them 1-0 to the half with the lead over Andover. Back with the second half of action from Centennial High School next, live on North Metro TV.
You know that I got it. Yeah.
Share new perspectives with North Metro TV. Capture breathtaking cinematic images. Business exteriors, scenic landscapes, sporting events, or community images. With a professional videographer at the controls, North Metro TV will tailor a package for your budget. For high-quality photo and video aerials, contact North Metro TV.
Lino Lakes is the gateway to the metro area, just minutes north of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Conveniently located on I-35W, this growing city still maintains its North Country feel. Lino Lakes is a safe, fun, and affordable community that values its award-winning schools. Outdoor lovers will discover miles of hiking, biking, and water trails. Growing businesses will find premier development opportunities with great freeway visibility and ready to help your businesses grow. Come to live, work, and play in Lino Lakes.
Andover Huskies.
Over the Centennial Cougars.
I thought we could move on from last year. Can't we move on?
You want to move on? Just
I'm
say
just
that.
kidding.
Like, just say that. We've moved on.
Yeah. We've just used that loss to just, like I said, continue to work hard and keep it in the back of our minds, but also move on from it. Try not to just live in the past, but hopefully grow from it and learn.
We made it to the state championship game, so that was a big part of our goal. It was pretty devastating not to take it all the way home, but it's kind of also the thing that's going to be pushing us even harder this year. We have a lot of returners, but we're going into this season and we already know what we want, and we know what happens when we don't get it. So we're ready to come back and take it home this time.
I think we're just going to take it game by game and just keep improving and working our hardest every practice, every game. And I think we were all pushing each other, like even at tryouts, we saw that everybody was pushing each other to be their best, and we all want to encourage each other just to reach our highest potential this year.
It's unknown if we're going to even have any sort of playoffs, but we still will talk about getting to the state tournament. As Lindsay just said, take it all home. We think we have the team that can do it again this year, get to that championship game. We obviously need to stay healthy. With COVID and the unknowns, is I've talked to the team already the first 2 days, is we need to take our opportunity every day to make each other better every day, because we don't know when this could be taken away from us. And so don't take anything for granted this year, and just every day pushing ourselves as hard as we can.
Me as a captain, I just need to keep doing what I'm doing and lead by example on and off the field, and just keep encouraging players to reach their highest potential and to keep doing their best every practice and every game, because their effort is going to help our team if it's their absolute best.
To set a good example for everyone, because they look up to you. So I love being a captain, and it's really cool.
With this year, I think leadership is really important, especially with communication, because there are so many questions that everyone has and we don't always know the answer. But as a leader, you have to take initiative and, make sure everyone knows that they are important to the team and their voice will be heard.
Right now, the strength is unbelievable speed. I feel like we've always had a fast team on turf. We had an injury to Tatum Treadle last year, so she was a manager with ACL surgery, but she's back 100%. And the speed that we have, even for girls that weren't starters, didn't get a ton of playing time, I'm just really excited with what I've seen so far. Right now, we're basically juniors and seniors. It's the oldest team I've ever had. Kaya, leading goal scorer on the team the last couple of years, her creativity up top, her speed, the way she explodes into space and then can finish from any angle. Lindsay is smart. She's calculated. She's just patient on the ball, just a good vision of the field, plays in the middle, and love that about her, how she can deliver the ball. Brittany, she's our force in the air. So again, she's kind of a defensive midfielder, and girls have talked about it. I mean, we need Brittany on the field because she wins every flighted ball, and she's just a beast to come up against in the back there. So Sydney Cubes is another junior in the back, and so she started, I think, every game for us last year. And it's great to have somebody kind of hold that defensive line for you. We have Jenna Lane. She's our goalkeeper returning. She had a concussion last year. She missed a few games, but she is solid, and her footwork is even better this year than it was in the past. Summer Francis is one of our other seniors up top with the speed that I was talking about. And Morgan O'Hearn, also another senior that plays up top for us. And so I think our goal scoring power is going to be very versatile this year. We're going to spread it out, and hopefully that helps our team win a lot of games.
I play holding mid. My role is to win the balls in the air and get back for the defenders when they need it.
I hear you're super good at that.
Yeah.
She is. A lot of times in attacking or holding center mid, and sometimes on the wing too. And basically just to help start the plays from the back and be a link for the forwards and also for the D. It just gives me like an opportunity to be creative in a different way than I would be in like a school setting or, even just out everyday life. Like, it just gives you something to push for and work for, and the relationships that you create with the people you're playing on the field with are unmatched. Kaya, Brittany, and I, we were on the same U10 team, so we've kind of grown up together, and it's been really cool to develop alongside each other.
We have a really good relationship as a team, I think. We have really good chemistry, and we all hype each other up all the time, where we can be serious and we can be joking around, and we still have fun every time we're with each other, and we all get excited every time. So I think our chemistry is really good.
Everyone's like super close on this team, and it's really fun to just have fun with everyone on the team, and we can also be serious and work hard together.
Again, as a leader, just to make it a really positive environment for everyone, so that when we're out of high school, we can remember, all the good times we had, and we're not thinking about, well, we lost in the state championship game. We're thinking about we have these great friendships and bonds that are going to last for a long time.
I'm honored to be their coach, and I don't know if you had heard, but this is my last year coaching. So I'm just excited for every day that I get to do this, and excited to do it with this group of girls.
This year we're going to be super good, so come watch us. We're girls of fall. Football's in here, so come see soccer.
It's really fun this year because I think we're going to be super good and win a lot of games, so it'll be super fun to watch.
Go Cougars!
Go Cougar!
Yeah.
Yep.
Second half on the way from Centennial High School as the Cougars have a 1-0 lead courtesy of Kaya Harper's goal with 12:21 to go in the first. Live action on North Metro TV again, 2020. Well, it hasn't kicked us all the way out the door. We are right here ready to play some high school soccer in half number 2. And Rick, my broadcast partner Rick Palermo, I'm JW Cox. Thanks so much for joining us. Second half, I think the first half kind of went the way the Cougars certainly wanted, ending up on the scoreboard and also playing the type of game they wanted with some good chances down the field.
Yeah, the Cougars really they played a very calm, smart game in the first half, really into the last 2 minutes when Andover came in and, you know, their top striker, Knopfli, took a few shots on net. But for Centennial, I think they just need to maintain the long passing, solid defense, and give Kaya Harper the rock.
That will be the goal. And on the other side, if you look at Andover, they need to bottle up that last minute and a half, basically, when they were able to put pressure on Jenna Lane and the Cougars.
Yeah, if they can create chances, and, I mean, Knopfli, her size advantage, her ability to dribble in between defenders might prove crucial in the late stages of this one. So box up number 15 if you're a Cougar fan.
Yeah, we'll see. Try and force them to make someone else beat them. Right to left will go the Huskies in half number 2. They're in white. Everybody ready to roll. Glad you're with us. Kaya Harper jumping up and down, just waiting on the officials, and he blows the whistle right before we got the denouement of that rock song, but it was all right.
Sorry.
Musical term out there for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, what?
Yeah.
Man, just well-versed in everything,
well,
JW.
you know, about
Fantastic.
a half inch deep in a mile-wide sea of knowledge. Not very deep. Out of bounds for the Cougars as Treadle lob it ahead, looking right to Harper. And see who can set the tone in these first few minutes when it comes to that pressure.
Treadle had some nice plays in the first half. Definitely someone that generated some offense. She had a cross and into Harper that went wide, and then a shot that got blocked, but that was tracing for the net.
Cross, Harper to Alice. Alice settles, looking for somewhere to go and try and keep the momentum going. Back it goes. Knocked down by Boardson. And just kind of the hesitation there. I'm not saying there was a good place for Lauren Alice to send that. The defense had gotten back there.
Mm-hmm.
But you would have hoped for a little more pressure from the Cougars off that cross and settle.
But a good offensive possession to start the second half for Centennial.
Maybe worth it to try and wait for the great opportunity. Already up a goal. Play for possession. Live with you, North Metro TV, northmetrotv.com. Go to northmetrotv.com if you're not already there. And find all the ways you can follow your favorite high school sports throughout 2020 and beyond. The many live options.
Yeah, we got our coach and captains videos posted to there as well.
Absolutely.
This Centennial girls team participated in that. A nice interview piece done there for your viewing pleasure.
Hamsky bothering Knopfli, just enough to get it knocked out of bounds. Played backwards for the Cougars.
Yeah, Andover, really no possession thus far in the second half. It's been all Centennial.
Pushed out, and the watchful eye of Treadle is going to stay with the Cougars.
Yeah, Treadle with a nice play on the far end of the field, keeping it in play.
Cougars up 1-0, still sitting with that score. 3 minutes gone here in half number 2. Long chip up ahead, forces Braun up on the near side. And Summer Francis was there watching as she covered it up, and the goal kick.
It was a powerful strike from Harper, though. I mean, she was just kind of turned into her side and flipped that one deep in the corner.
As we've seen, Kaya Harper, pretty much when she steps on the field, can put herself in scoring position anytime she gets to the offensive half. Masugu Trying to leave some defenders behind. Reversed course, McKenna Monson taps it out. As mentioned, 6 seniors from last year's team gone from the state runners-up for the Cougars. Into this year, though, those who are in the know and do the voting, number 2 for the Cougars, behind defending state champ Maple Grove as the number 1 selection. Ball ahead, and Braun has to dive down in front of Summer Francis to keep Summer from sending one netward. Keep us at 1-0.
Lovely first touch by Francis to get that ball in position to create an opportunity. But as you said, Braun all on top of it. Her work as the keeper has been pretty impressive tonight. The one goal by Kara Harper, she had no chance of stopping.
Harper, stutter steps, drives deeper towards the corner. The cross, and it's redirected, headed in by Lauren Ollis. Ollis off the feed from Kaya Harper, and it's 2-0 Cougars with 35-35 to go here in this second half.
Cougar goal scored by number 10, Lauren Ollis, assisted by number 7, Kaya Harper.
Lovely header by Ollis. Back of the net, Kai Harper setting things up. Her second point of the contest. A goal and an assist for number 7, but Ollis not in her first of the season.
8 goals a season ago, none larger than the semifinal penalty kick goal that sent them to the championship game. And just a tremendous set piece in front and a great finish by Lauren Ollis.
Another chance now.
Driven by Harper, opposite side, down towards the corner, and what a sliding play. It's going to stay a throw-in. Tremendous sliding effort by Nguyen, yep.
She has been all over the place defensively for Andover, showing why she wears the captain sleeve.
The skill and the heart all on display right there as Harper blanketed by 3 defenders. Forced to just chip it up ahead. Yeah, the decisive goal in the 2-1 win for the Cougars in the semifinal round over the Rosemount Irish. Lauren Ollis got the set piece from the penalty mark and did not miss one-on-one with the goaltender. Harper, she put that one on net, stepping through traffic.
Another impressive strike. Braun in perfect position to make the stop.
Treadle was over there too. I looked down. I assumed it was Kaya Harper. Then
yeah, it was.
Okay, Treadle was fixing her shoelace too. I thought maybe she had struck that. Tatum Treadle a couple of steps towards that one. It's out of bounds.
And I think Treadle was offside, possibly.
So that will become the free kick. And just where do we get it? Just shy of 30. 2-0. Harper, with her hands on both goals so far, scored the first, assisted on the second that Lauren Ollis headed home. She's one of those weapons, too, that can play at that midfield, basically pushing her to both ends of the field. Sure with possession and knows what to do with it once she gets it.
Cougars were offside, but advantage being played for the Huskies. Well, they did not.
I think they still were going to make them do it. Yeah, they didn't.
I don't understand.
The side judge never waved it off, so then he got the field officials' attention eventually and brings us back. He can't put the seconds back on the scoreboard, but he brings us back to the 20. The Andover free kick. I was right with you, Rick. Let's just wave that off. The Huskies clearly took the advantage in motion.
Yeah, which is what they usually do, but nothing can be said about that anymore.
Goal kick for Braun.
High punt. Again, the possession by Centennial in this second half, dominating their opposition. Lovely touch. I think that was Treadle.
Alice and Masugu said to be too aggressive there. This is going to be a real similar spot, Rick, to where that first goal came from, opposite side of the field, but depth-wise, what? We might
5
be
yards.
5 or 6
Yeah.
more yards deep?
All
right, now they're moving it
okay,
back, so
10
it's
yards.
a little further.
Yeah, Harper was standing on the 20-yard line of the football field, so it was a 30-yard strike for her goal kick. This would be some strike. I think we're going to see a header attempt here.
Yeah, try and create something in front. Treadle's, in fact, coming up to have the conversation with Harper. Start of the sprint of a season for these two teams, and the Cougars off to a good one. 2-0 with the lead. Harper and Treadle. It's going to be Treadle to Harper with speed. Harper takes the shot. Far post redirected too high. Oh, what a beautifully drawn up play. And on the back end, Sydney Cubes just a little too much lift. That was pretty, Rick Palermo.
Wow. Yeah, that was definitely worth that play call. Incredible stuff by the Cougars.
Oh.
But yeah, I think the ball bounced just at the last moment on Cubes, and it might have hit her shin. She didn't get all of that clearly.
That's a good point, but
man, wow, what a play. That was
to
nice.
have that in your back pocket. That's one of those plays that if this was a football game this early in the year, you'd say, oh, we didn't want to put that on tape yet.
Yeah.
That's something we're
Yeah.
going to try to do. But Coach Flohawk knows the execution level that her team can bring.
Well, their Cougars' next opponent should be tuning in to North Metro
Yeah,
TV
well,
if they want
might.
to see that one.
They might. That was a thing of beauty to get that look. 2-0. Cougars have the lead.
I mean, yeah, perfect pass from Treadle, and Harper just with the speed and
Lang
skill.
showing no fear, comes right out, takes it away, front of the box, despite the fact she had Skyland Jorgensen bearing down on her.
Well-read play by the keeper there, timed it up perfectly. Because if you don't go and attack that ball, she's going to be stuck in no man's land.
Back to that play off the free kick. Just that's another thing where you see the coaching come in play. You've got Kaya Harper. She can be the focal point. You know how good she is. And so you can use her as a decoy, but you don't want to handcuff her as a decoy, right? Because on that play, she could pass or she could try to score. So it wasn't just let's send Kaya over here and keep the action away from her by pulling out a defender. It was, well, let's give Kaya options and be a more useful decoy. You just appreciate that trust in your player to make the right decision.
Yeah, and it was the right decision to come up with that play call. Again, they were 40 yards away from the net, so, I mean, it would take some kind of a
You need
strike.
to do something, yeah.
And the high percentage, the scoring percentage you have on that is so much greater than, just sending a cross in over, you got 12 bodies in front of the net. I'll take a one-on-one chance with Kaya Harper any day of the week.
Under 29 minutes to go in this one. A goal in each half for the Cougars. Nearly had a third. And these Andover Huskies, you could talk a lot about their defense, or their offense rather, a year ago, but they also had a top 15 defense in all of Class 2A. Last season outscored their opponents. They had a stretch, Rick, where they won 12 games in a row after starting the season 1-1. They beat the Cougars, in fact, to start the 12-game winning streak last year. On that 12-game stretch, they outscored their opponents 60-5. Two of those goals that they gave up came in that first game of the run against the Cougars. So it was 54-3 the rest of the way down the 11-game stretch. It was a pretty dominant Andover team at times.
Yeah, unfortunately they graduated, would you say 9 seniors?
Yep,
7. So yeah,
but almost 40 goals.
Yeah, that's a huge. Year. It's a huge loss.
Represented 3 of the top 4 goal scorers. The only of the top 4 from last year coming back is Knopfle. What you said about Kaya can go for Knopfle as well if they can find ways to get her that space.
Yeah, Coach. Very dangerous. And in a moment's time, she can make something happen, as we saw at the end of the first half.
Coach Grease would take that for sure, giving her top scorer returning a chance. But for both these teams, I think, Rick, it opens the question on this shortened season, who else steps up? Because neither Kaya nor Olivia going to carry either of these teams all on their own. They'll make a pretty good run at it. You know, we know what a big part of the Cougars game Kaya Harper is, but they'll need to have those other role players step in and fill gaps that might have been made or taken up by seniors that have now left. Player down here.
Yeah, and as we see, Alice.
She was down, and Coach Flohog already had the sub ready. Lindsey Wilson's going to come in for her.
Alice, a big part of this organization.
Yep.
Already scored a goal this season. Lovely header. But, you know, back to your point about, you know, needing other players to step up around the, you know, the main goal scorers. You know, I don't know how much time these teams had in the off season, you know, or how much time in the training camp to really prepare.
Long shot from the far side, and Treadle makes it 3-0 Cougars. Beautiful feed from up front on the free kick. And it was that big leg we've seen already of Sydney Cubes. This time, she's the distributor. And Tatum Treadle gets her first of the year.
Well, there we go. We're talking about supporting cast players stepping up, and it happens for the Cougars. Treadle finishes from the lovely ball from Cubes. 2 quick goals in the second half.
Yeah, both scored in the first 13 minutes. You love to see that from Cubes. She was the player up front on that set-piece assist attempt from Kaya Harper, and the shot just went high. This time she shows off her big leg on a free kick from slightly deeper, and Treadle converts it.
And that was all set up by the hard work from Alice.
That's right.
She drew the foul, got injured, took one for the team.
They were stretching on the far side with Alice. She's now hopped back up, and so she should be ready to go. She's looking for a spot on the bench. Andover trying to answer. Lang is there to step right in front of Knopfler. Lang uses that right arm, chucks it 20 yards down the field. Taken away, Andover with Jorgensen. Looking for space, tumbles down, and that's 2 players trying to occupy the same spot, but it's going to get the penalty to the benefit of Andover. And quickly, Knopfler was trying to keep Lang unawares there, but Jenna Lane got things in gear just in time as Knopfler sniped that one down towards the net.
Knopfler with the quick pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
She's been doing that a lot this evening. Well, I guess that's the second of 3 chances she's had to do it. But on a corner kick, the first one of the game, she didn't even wait to get everyone set. She just, nope, inbound, here we go.
Pulling the trigger awfully quick.
It almost worked, too.
Keeping those base runners honest. Right?
Yeah. Got to have your head on a swivel.
Still 3-0, 25 and a half minutes to go here in this second half of play. Second half, game number 1 of our doubleheader. J.W. Cox and Rick Palermo. Had some good pace to this game. Just 3 goals scored, but up and down with some chances.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, up until this point, it's been all Centennial in the second half in the possession category.
I think both these teams, it always helps that they've played a fairly clean game both ways. Not a lot of unforced errors or really what stands out is both teams, the passing all has a purpose. The defense can step up and take that purpose away, but nobody's just trying to boot it back and forth, just wild clears. Everybody has an idea of what they're looking to accomplish with each pass. That's creating those opportunities both ways. Knopfler towards the middle, looking to get it back. Cougars knock it around off the feet of Hamsky. Back it goes from Isugu over to Knopfler. Going wide, and she was hoping to bend that the other way. There was some open net there with Lang shifting over, and it just trickles wide for the goal kick. 2 subs coming in for the Huskies.
Miss strike for Knopfler. You could definitely see she was trying to bend it from right to left.
Schmidt and Cloth.
Wanted to draw. She got the fade.
You know how that goes.
Yeah. Poor golf term there. Beautiful night, though, for this matchup here at Centennial High School.
Holding steady right there. First temperature check at 72 when we started this game. We're still right there. Might dip below 70 by the time game number 2 is done.
Yeah, we might have to close these windows up for the nightcap, JW.
You know, you laugh or you joke, Rick, but I did leave a coat in the car. And I was thinking I brought one. I brought a light jacket.
Smarter than I. Well, and our camera operator upstairs, Josie, she brought 2 sweatshirts for herself tonight.
It's not the first time Josie has had to battle potential conditions on top of this or any press box. So
yeah.
She knows. She knows.
The Minnesota natives are well aware that it's fall weather here in August.
After the week we had last week, I think a lot of people welcoming that. Just a little bit of a respite.
I'll take all the heat we can get, but that's for another day. I have a coat in the car from Sports Den.
Ready to go.
My blazer,
you
yeah.
got the sport coat. Yeah, that would keep you warm.
Yeah, I might have to jog over.
The jog would do good, too.
Ooh, yeah.
Knopfli off to that far right side. She worked her way all the way across. Masugu in the middle. Deflected by the defense. Knopfli still working. She'll chip it too high. Pulled something right out of nothing there, did Olivia Knopfli.
And great strike by Masugu. Kept it low, and it was a bullet. Knopfli, man, just chipped it high. Tough.
Cougars bringing in Caroline Lowinger among the 3 substitutions. Grace Prairie also checked in. And there was one other Cougar that came in that I just missed. I believe it was Sydney Nelson, a senior forward. Wasn't out there before. Coming up on the 21-minute mark of half number 2, 3-0 the lead. Goals from Harper, Ollis, and Treadle. Harper's in the first, and Treadle and Ollis here in the second. Comes Harper. Teammates to the left trying to stay on side, and Harper's just going to take it herself. She had O'Hearn off to the left, and Sarah Strading as well in the middle.
I think she was trying to bend that one in from right to left as well. Just another mishit.
Too strong up the near side. Strading, though, still fighting against 2 defenders. And it's going to stay with the Cougars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nguyen ended up down on the deck. She's trying to draw something with that.
Yeah,
maybe.
I thought the foul was going to be against Centennial, but not the case. Nguyen with another nice defensive play. Headers it clear.
It's part of her 26-goal season a year ago. Kyle Harper had 7 different multi-goal games. That one somehow makes its way past the line of the defense, but right there is Braun. 20 minutes to go here in this girls' matchup, 3-0. The lead for the Andover Huskies. And only 2 of those 7, Rick, were the minimum for a multi-goal game, which would be 2, meaning in 5 of the others, she scored at least 3 goals.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, the hat trick is never undervalued.
Times.
Yeah.
And she turned it on late in the season. She actually only had 3 regular season multi-goal games out of 14 games played. And then out of 6 played in the postseason, she came away with 3 multi-goal games.
Yeah.
3 against Cambridge Isanti in a first-round section win, 3 against Andover in the section championship game, all 3 in that one. Opened up the state tournament with both goals in a 2-1 win over Lakeville South. Did not score in that semifinal game that was a 2-1 Cougar win. And then scored the lone goal in the 1-goal loss to Maple Grove in the championship game.
Yeah, and a penalty shot. Yeah, what, 10 postseason goals?
10 postseason goals, 7 in the section tournament.
Yeah, that's just big players make big plays in big situations.
First brush on that, you look and say, well, if only she could have matched that in the state tournament. But 3 goals in 3 state tournament games.
That's
when
more
you are
than
playing
enough.
The 100% best competition at your level, and she still scored 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Just an impressive run
Yeah, we hope she caps off her senior campaign in style, already with 2 points tonight, a goal and an apple.
Eight and a half to go. 18 and a half to go, excuse me. Cougars just trying to wind that one down. Malia Bilby, he's a junior, just in. And it's actually Andover ball. Into traffic at the midfield.
Yeah, traffic's right. A lot of bodies there at the 50-yard line.
Huskies, if they want to get back in this one, they're certainly not done yet. Lots of time with the chances that they've been able to create, but they need one of those to pop here in the next 3 or 4 minutes, you would think, to start that comeback.
Yeah, and they just committed an unforced error, turning the ball over in their own third.
And that another error maybe mentally to let that one roll out. Just unsure where that touch was coming from, so it'll be a Cougar corner kick.
Yeah. Three goals is a large enough deficit as it is. 4 might be the capper. So Andover really needs to bear down defensively here.
Towards the front, first touch by the Cougars to keep the pressure on. Another left-footed boot to the far side. Headed back to try, and again, great work from Sydney Nelson all over the place. She had the corner, took it, and then on the rebound off that first touch, she was right there to send it netward again.
Great play down the sideline. I think that is Sydney Nelson making things happen, keeping possession alive.
Knocked out, that'll go off the Cougars.
Subs coming in.
Bilby off her there. Starter Emily Roseland back in. Rick mentioned it in the first half. Slightly fewer fans maybe, though they've still come out in good numbers for a high school soccer game that started at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, on a Monday. It's Monday, right?
Yeah, it is Monday.
All right.
Pretty good turnout.
It's Monday for about 5.5 hours. And then tomorrow is September.
Hard to believe. It's right here. We're back doing fall sports. Here was soccer. And this year of years winding down to the final 4 months. Long through ball. Up over the top of everybody. Be interesting to see. I don't know that we'll see those top line attackers back in for the Cougars anytime soon. So this is audition time for what we were talking about. And that was an ill-timed little pump right there. Lindsey Wilson took that right off the face. She started to motion towards the bench after she checked her nose. But gee whiz.
Yeah, that was
tough.
tough.
Took that just about as well as anybody could. And the only thing that's going to take her out of here, she might have a little bit of blood coming from the nose.
Substitution coming in now.
Alice checks back in. That one caught her flush just to the left side of the face.
Yeah.
So they'll check her out.
Well, good to see Alice back in the game.
She went out injured.
Right before the third goal was scored.
Tough take, though, right there from Lindsey Wilson. I happen to have the specs, the Zappa specs, the binoculars right on the play, and hit her in the face. There was very little hesitation Didn't go down to the deck as this one's taken away by Nguyen.
Another skilled defensive play.
Working up with Knopfle. Sheds one defender. Cubes comes over. Knopfle all the way in and sneaks it inside the near post. Duck, dive, dodge, and duck all the way through to the goal. And Knopfle, not denied, gets on the board.
Goal scored by number 15, Olivia Knopfle.
Well, and she had 2 Huskies with her that she could have passed to, but she said, no, we're not passing. I'm scoring. It was only a matter of time, huh?
You would think. And, well, they did what we asked. It was about 5 minutes ago that I said they needed to get things going if they were going to hop back in this game.
And, yeah, it worked out. Knopfle with it again now at the sideline.
They can get chances just that quick. It's 3-1 now.
And it was all started by Nguyen's great defensive play to intercept. Pinching, really. She came up well past, as you see, with 3-goal deficit, you kind of substitute defensive safety for offensive opportunities, and it worked out.
Well, they needed something to spark them. Something to spark them, just get a little energy. There was a lull because the Cougars had sucked all the energy away with their 3-0 lead. And that play by Nguyen certainly answered that bell.
Alice with a nice touch to start a threat.
Straighting was there, never quite came to her. Well, now the Huskies, they might have to convert in the next 3 minutes again to really have a battle in the final 9 or so of this game. They've got it on the correct foot. Knopfle bouncing wide, tries to send it past the defense. Ends up down on the deck, has to crawl her way out of the way. Then led up ahead to Cloth. Fighting along the goal line, and we got a goal kick, so the Cougars survive that. So you see such skill from Olivia Knopfle on one play, scoring the goal, and then unfortunately just caught in the wrong spot down on the deck and having to crawl her way out of harm's way.
The ball found her that time.
Yeah, looked less than skillful that time, but we'll focus on the skilled one.
It be like that sometimes.
Sometimes. Life will do that, right, Rick?
Yeah.
You're at the high point, and all of a sudden,
whoops.
You're crawling at the 15-yard line. As Treadle sends it back towards midfield.
Ooh, new keeper in.
We do have a new keeper in this game.
How about that?
Annie Fine is in for the Andover Huskies. The senior did not see any time in net last year at the varsity level. It was actually Kennedy Sanders, who's now listed as a midfielder, who was the secondary goalkeeper behind Braun last season. 10:40 remaining here in this second half. Winding things down on game number 1 of our doubleheader.
Good defensive clearing by the Cougars there. Keep the ball out of harm's way for the time being. A reminder, as we have 10 minutes to play here, we got a doubleheader nightcap coming up next.
Quickly in towards Lang, free of Lang, still free, and bounding out, and Lang can finally sprint back and play it. That time the pressure put on by Cedar Jorgensen. Just a sophomore, but as a freshman last year, she scored 3 goals. And
Caroline Lawinger with a lovely play to save a potential goal.
Yeah, she was the last line of defense.
Harper versus Nguyen again. It's been a common matchup, and Nguyen, I think, has gotten the better of the matchups thus far.
Yeah, at times, and this will be a goal kick is the call as we go under 10 minutes to play.
Yeah, so the nightcap, boys Centennial versus boys Andover. Two teams with some history as well, much like these two clubs have some prior postseason meetings. The boys do. So it should be a fun matchup, so be sure to stick around. Game starting right after, about 15 minutes after the conclusion of this one.
I'd like to welcome our,
here's a chance.
Right in front, Bordson works her way to the top of the box, and that was touched. It will be a corner. I'd like to welcome our audience on Facebook, as we've got that streaming platform working now. If you've found us here, be sure to check our schedule, because anything that we cover, be it a truck production or if we have one of these, which is a one-camera production officially, if we're covering that live and it's the only event we're covering live on a given day, we'll be on Facebook.
Should we start a new category called two-cam productions?
Because technically this is it, right?
We have 2 cams today.
Now, again, this is inside baseball, and nobody out there really might care. They actually know. As Kaya Harper sends it right in, and it's saved point blank.
Wow.
By Fine. Got the hands up, protected everything, and kept Harper from having a 2-goal game.
What a nice save that was. I mean, that was a bullet from Kaya Harper. She has sent some shots today. Fine job to make the stop.
So the Cougars still with that 3-1 lead, under 7.5 to go.
Oh, lovely first touch at the bottom by Longer.
Again, the Cougars get it to Harper. Harper with boards into the left. Harper undeterred by a bump. Harper walking her way along. What a move. Walking in. Long shot. Defense there. Rebound in. Kyle Harper kept after it and gets her second goal of the game. 7 times last year she scored at least twice in a game, and she'll do it in game number 1 of this season. 6:46 to go.
You can't stop her, JW. I mean, you can't even contain her.
They did stop her for a second. And then she was right there to knock it in.
I mean, her and the Win have been battling all contests long. Harper just put her on skates, got past her. The first shot, no good, follows it up. Nothing Annie Fine could do the second time around.
So Kaya Harper her second goal of the game. Both have been unassisted, one on a free kick, that one off a rebound of her own shot. So under 6 minutes to go, and that momentum, that spark, that step back in this game that Andover took, taken right away. As again, it's in the middle for the Cougars. Alice was there off the quick touch from Treadle. We do see those starters back out there, so the run for the second unit gives way back to the first unit, at least at the front, with 5.5 to go. 4-1, just over their average of goals scored a season ago for the Cougars. It checked in at 3.7. A lot of these games in this range. Looking for Alice. Alice stays on her feet. And where'd that whistle come from? Just the...
Yeah, I think she
was the one who interfered, but
yeah. Ooh.
She comes up limping. Doesn't add to the validity of the case, but that's what the official on the field saw as we go under 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe there was a push there or something. Tough to tell from our side.
taken away. Opportunistic look from Lowinger. Couldn't complete the takeaway. Saki trying to work her way through. Back to Knopfler. Knopfler winds the shot that's steered away by Lang. I think that was on net, Rick. That would go if Jenna Lane wasn't there to fingertip it away.
And then Knopfler was limping around, still not on her feet.
She and Sydney Cubes.
Oh, yeah, Knopfler
battling
hobbling
out,
around.
Knopfler.
I don't know if she has a cramp or something. Playing through it.
They had subs waiting at the table, but not on the corner. It's again the Cougars.
Yeah, she's cramping up.
Yeah, so Andover looking to get this out of bounds. It is Andover ball. They can get the subs now. They've all been standing there. And now they can come in. But by the time they get in, there'll be just about 3 minutes to go.
But what a strike from Knopfler, and a better save. Jenna Lang. Yeah, that ball probably was on net. Definitely toward the post. On the near side. Yeah, Knopfler had a window of an opportunity, and she took her shot. The only goal scorer tonight for Andover. Yeah, we mentioned conditioning playing a part of it. We don't know how much time either side has had with training camp or a summer season with everything that's going on. So, conditioning and fatigue will definitely play a factor, I think, early on in some of these games in the high school level.
So the Cougars maintaining that 4-1 lead. And the Andover Huskies now with their top threat, singular, on the bench. And you think the Cougars are ready to just keep watching that clock that's off to our right continue to wind down.
It looks like they've got a 3-on-2 developing. Harper keeps it in. Lovely touch.
Also officially welcoming in a fourth audience, potentially, Rick, on YouTube.
Oh, we're up?
So we're up on YouTube,
right.
We're up on Facebook, we're up on the main TV channel, and we're up on North Metro TV.
Oh, gotta love the internets.
And the Cougars are up on the Huskies. 4-1 with 1:36 to go. If you're just joining us, you missed a Kaya Harper goal in the first. It's going to be a foul on Andover.
Yeah, Alice again getting knocked down. Second time she's drawn a foul. This is just outside the penalty box. Oh, my gosh. But it will result in a great scoring chance at the end of this one. 1 minute to go, a 3-goal lead.
So, Alice trying to pad the stats. She's already got a goal in this game. Finished off a header. 4-person wall moved back. Fine, who came into this game for Braun. Alice shoves it right through that wall. Nobody on the back end. Alice knocks it down back towards the net. Forces Andover to clear it out. And I think we got a handball?
Yeah, I think on Alice.
So handball on the Cougars. It'll be not deep enough to make much of a difference as we're headed down the final 30 seconds. When this one closes down, you can stick with us on all 4 of our channels. We'll stay live. We won't walk you through whatever the break happens to be. We'll give our final thoughts of this one, maybe a little bit of teaser for game 2, and then we'll come back. We'll have a better time on when game number 2 will start, scheduled for 7, maybe a couple ticks after that at this point as we're 20 till. But a game that the Cougar girls team comes out with a strong first half, 2 quick goals to take command in the second, and they will win this opening game of the 2020 fall by the score of 4-1. Again, that first half goal, Kaya Harper with 12:21 to go off the free kick, made it 1-0. And then just less than 5 minutes later, Lauren Alice able to score off the distribution from Harper. 8 minutes after that, with 27:03 to go in the half, Tatum Treadle scored off the free kick delivery from Sydney Hughes. That made it 3-0 before Olivia Knopfli wound her way through the defense and got Andover on the board. Still with 13.5 to go, but the Cougars able to get one more back to cap it off from Kaya Harper with just under 7 minutes to go. Her second unassisted goal of the game. Harper ends up with 2, Alice and Treadle with 1 apiece for the Cougars, and Knopfli with 1 for the Huskies. And no surprise, Rick, Kaya Harper right in the thick of it.
Kind of just took the opportunity, and I guess I finished on them, but couldn't have done it without my team, obviously. They really worked hard. We've been working hard these past few weeks getting prepared for this game, but we're just going to put this one behind us now. We got the win, and we're just going to focus on our next game, which is Thursday versus Maple Grove, so hoping to get that one. Well, obviously, we're excited to be playing this year, especially senior year, and we have a lot of returners on the team. We're all juniors and seniors, so this is kind of a big year for all of us, and it's really exciting to play with all these girls again because we have such a good connection with each other and our chemistry is like super good. So we're just all excited to play and we're grateful for it. Andover played man marked, so that was difficult for our entire team, and I was man marked, I think, by 2 girls, so that was difficult for me, but we just capitalized on their mistakes and we got the results that we wanted, but we're just happy that we got the win.
Well, Kaya Harper dribbled down the side of the field, and then she crossed it in the air, and then I just headed it in the net. During the game, there was actually a lot of players that cramped because we're all just like out of shape, and it's like our first game that we've actually played a full 90-minute game for months now. So it's challenging just to stay in shape and see each other again and play with each other because it's been a year. Well, I'm just really grateful for the opportunity, and with all the social distancing, I'm just happy that we can play so we can see each other because I love the game, and it's just fun to see everyone and have the feeling that after you win and score.
Oh, I say the chemistry of our team. Our team worked super hard tonight, put those big goals away, get out ahead just like what we needed. I've been playing center back for a few years, and I tried to step up and take the lead role as a back. I'm really proud of our back line tonight. They did awesome, made the big steps. Well, our team's a little out of shape, and I don't think we drank enough water. Quite a few cramps out on the field tonight, including myself. Maple Grove Wednesday. We want to get that redemption win. So, yeah. I was ecstatic finding out that our team was able to play this year after our tough loss against Maple Grove in the state championship. So, redemption year.
Look ahead at the schedules for girls soccer. Up next for Centennial, they'll take on Maple Grove, as that will be a key matchup that we will highlight here on North Metro TV. Then they'll be at home against Park Center before a long couple games on the road. Blaine, they've got trips to Andover and Elk River before they get to come home next Tuesday against Armstrong, and in Spring Lake Park, they'll welcome in Osseo before traveling to Rogers next week. But just overall, an impressive game, I thought, start to finish. Well played by both teams, but the Cougars able to find the back of the net.
Yeah, it was 1-0 after the first half. Kaya Harper with a free kick goal, but as things progressed, the game started to open up. This is the first game of the year for both teams, so slower start for the squads, but they were able to regather, and Centennial dominated that second half. Kaya Harper with 2 goals in this one and an assist. And the Cougars finished last year 2 goals shy of a state championship. They get off to a great start this season with a good win over a very good opponent in the Andover Huskies.
So that'll do it for game number 1. Up next, the Cougars will take on Maple Grove on Wednesday, so the rematch tour continues. They beat Andover in the section finals. The rematch today, they, of course, lost to Maple Grove in the state tournament state title game. That comes up Wednesday, then Tuesday, home against Park Center, then at St. Louis Park a week from this coming Thursday for Andover. They get Blaine on Wednesday, and then we'll be home against Coon Rapids the following Tuesday. The following Friday, travel to Totino Grace. We will stay right here and bring you the boys' version of this matchup, Andover and Centennial. Game 2 of our doubleheader live on North Metro TV. It will roll on in just about 20 minutes, so stick around.
You know that I got